Hey everyone, Miacidae here. Welcome back to Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. So we are still technically on Leethus. However, we're at the Watcher's orbital station right now because someone here decided they wanted to blow up the Tithe world. I think that's the world down there actually that we can see. And all that's really here is some goods and a computer. So I'm gonna be the loot rat that I am and take everything that looks like just a bunch of goods, maybe. And then we'll talk to the computer.
My success is an irrefutable certainty.
Why is Lady Theodora's mantle here? At the start of the wearer's turn, if there are more enemies than allies in combat, the wearer deals 20% more damage with melee weapons. That could be great. And some inventory stuff. There's only 2 people I have that wear or use melee weapons, and Ulfar can't even use it, unfortunately, because it's not as adept as Astartes. And Abelard is kind of a tank. This isn't really a tank thing, but 20% more damage rather than Taunting Scream not needing to, we'll keep the Taunting Scream needing that to not pass. Alright, Cognitor. This is the Watcher of Leethus. There are sound effects towards it. That thing looks very painful. A human torso is built into the massive Cognitor. Countless cables entangle the shriveled body and snake under the pale skin. Identification. Rogue Trader von Valancius, initiating final stage of Oblivion Directive. A ragged wheeze escapes the Vox grill, and the man's speech becomes more animated and bilious. You have arrived at last, offspring. At last, everything ends. Do you want to not be a Cognitor anymore? Yep, it looks like that's what he wants. Go on. Take the last step. Confirm the execution of the directive. And in so doing, destroy Leethus. Take its riches. And free me from this unbearable vigil. Were you the one who intruded on my conversation with Vigdis prior to our landing? Yes. I needed to exchange codes with the flagship in order to identify the vessel and its owner. I had to sift through onboard communication channels and systems to verify the new Lord Captain's data and his right to be one. So explain to me what's going on now. You really do not know? Did she choose not to tell you, or did she not get the chance? It does not matter anymore. Yours is the blood of the dynasty, and so I am compelled to give you this answer. Supreme Ordinance. The arrival of the head of von Valancius dynasty with the purpose of extraction of the Tithe triggers the immediate activation of the Oblivion Directive by the Watchers of Leethus. And the moment of the directive's activation, the machine spirits of the initiation systems are bound in Prometheus Proximation class Cognishackles. The Cognishackles cannot be removed by any means. The directive guarantees the Rogue Trader's acquisition of the planet's assets and the destruction of Leethus, presented as being caused by the actions of the enemy of humanity. Oh, Solo Morton being here is not good for this conversation. So, Lady Theodora intended to steal the Tithe from the start. She arranged the whole world's destruction to cover her tracks, installed a servant to keep an eye on things, and even made a contingency plan in case of her own death. All she needed was an opportune moment like this one. With the Expanse being torn apart, the planet's death looks convincing. An outrageous accusation. Lady Theodora would never have sullied herself with such heresy. Stealing the sacred Tithe? Never. You want me to claim the Tithe for my own? I have long since been robbed of the luxury of freely expressing my thoughts. I'm merely quoting Theodora's plan. This qualifies for a culprit's confession, except the culprit herself is dead, and judging this creature would be pointless. Still, we must decide what to do next, Rogue Trader. He gives you a long look before continuing. If the Marshal learns the whole truth, it will make things difficult for everyone. It is better that you redress Theodora's crime by sending part of the Tithe to support the afflicted worlds of the Expanse and delivering the rest to the Administratum. I don't disagree there. Can we get anything out of the Watcher of Leethus. He nods and turns his heavy gaze to the creature. Are you a servitor or something different? Something entirely different, offspring, a prisoner of my own mind and these machines. Do not let my manner of speech deceive you. I am only following the orders vested in me. I am the part of my brain that controls the ability to converse and holds the script of my personality was severed from my volition centers and locked in a cage of functions and limitations. So you can think for yourself. Calling it thinking would be an overstatement. Imagine a corridor with all the doors locked except for one or two. That would be my consciousness. Yes, a dark, suffocating corridor with fading pictures of memory and nail scratches on the walls. Ooh. And why were you consigned to the fate? I was a threat to Theodora's rule, and she had my brain dissected. A sophisticated sentence to be humiliated, to live in suffering yet continue to serve the dynasty perfectly harmless. Absorb this lesson, offspring. That is how a rogue traitor metes out punishment. You crave death. That's not typical for thralls who have no will. What does it matter if I crave, if I am doomed to follow orders? Yes, I need you to complete the Oblivion Directive and trigger this station's shutdown so that I can be set free. And yet, in all these years, I have done nothing to bring my death closer. I can wait an eternity longer, suffering, but infallibly obedient. So, other questions. So that you could brag about it to Winterscale at banquets? You are out of luck. There's an entire station attached to me. It supplies me with power, and massive computing modules lie below it. Such is the price that you might make small talk to me. Such a waste of sacred current of the motive force is unacceptable. I demand the immediate cessation of this unit's vital processes without the right to atone for its personal inefficiency. Why do you call me offspring? Actually, no, who are you? That is the one question I cannot answer. Theodora did not wish for anyone to learn the name of he who has become the Watcher of Leethus. Let's see if we can change that. There's a flash of sparks along with the exterior of the cognitor, and the smell of burnt meat fills the air. The Watcher's voice is cracked and distorted. Darius von Valentius, status transformed on the order of his younger sister Theodora. Theodora had an older brother? By the Holy Throne. So that's where I remember that voice from. I saw you once when I was accompanying Lady Theodora. You weren't as you are now. Back then, she never spoke of you as her brother. Why? How could Lady Theodora have a brother? Everyone would know of you. Had I been a legitimate child, yes. They would have written my name in gold into the Dynasty Chronicle. However, my mother's origin, as well as certain other circumstances, were damaging for House von Valentius, and so my inclusion into the family hit a snag. When Lady Theodora was young, I was brought onto Dargonus to be trained for the role of seneschal. When she became the rogue trader, she refused to recognize me as her kin. She needed an obedient servant who wouldn't challenge her rule. Had I behaved myself, perhaps Theodora would have condescended to call me her brother and her heir on her deathbed. Why were you punished then? As Theodora's senior relative and direct heir, I could lay claim to her throne, and I did. I intended to kill her and declare a search for her successor, and while it went on, enter the warrant chamber and assume the rogue trader's tithe by right of blood. Theodora exposed my plan, executed anyone who'd taken part in the conspiracy, and turned me over to her tech priests. You have yet to ask me how your sister died. I cannot ask questions about anything unrelated to my function. Now, if you had brought that up yourself, no, I do not want to know. If you had heard that she had died by chance at the hands of an unworthy opponent, I would be gravely disappointed. After all, I have always solaced myself in believing that Theodora was someone extraordinary, and only because of this she was able to beat me. Fair. Fair. If that's your solace in being here, that is fair. So enough of that. I agree. The past is best dragged up in small quantities, so why do you call me offspring? What else should I call you? Heir to the dynasty's throne? A young descendant? You may have grown up used to people prostrating themselves before me, but to you, you are just a child. So, the tithe. I wanted to go with Solomorn and send it out to, people throughout the entire expanse, and then I guess that's what Iconoclast is. A portion of the tithe remain with me. I will see that it finds its way to worlds affected by the crisis, and then the rest goes to the Administratum. Dogmatic is the entire tithe goes through the Administratum, and then Heretical is a share of the tithe belongs to me by right of the strongest, and I just keep it, I guess. So yeah, Iconoclast is the one I would have wanted. So a portion of it remains with me, and we just give it to people out. And then we can just claim the entire tithe for ourselves, but that would go horribly. But yeah, we'll go the Iconoclast here. You are a better person than Theodora was. Do not take this as a compliment. It's extremely detrimental quality for a rogue trader. The rogue trader has spoken. The barges will go where he has decreed, and the Watcher of Leethus has served his purpose. I had hoped that I would feel relief. That I know that it's there, locked inside my protocols, and she wanted me to know and not to feel. The Watcher's head hits his sunken chest. Even in this moment of his death, he was denied the elation of freedom. Oh, poor man. The vid screens of the cognitors flicker, trying to process the influx of data and then fade all at once. So the world still goes kaboom no matter what. Ain't that a sight to see? It's unfortunate about the world, but I guess a few people got too close, which makes that a thing. Alright, well, off the world we go. Your Voxcaster hisses, softly drawing your attention. It seems someone has been hailing you for some time now. Lord Captain, your immediate intervention is required. The barges you sent to Dargonus have been attacked by enemy ships that just emerged from the warp. What ships are they? They carry no identifying marks, the signatures are unreadable. All I can tell you is that they are of Imperial construction. So how did they find us? The system's coordinates are classified. At the present, we don't know, but we are already working on it. So prepare for battle. Alright, let's go. Patient Fortune. Oh, I have to protect them, it looks like. 1, 2. I only see the 2. Oh, there's 2 behind me, though. They're only Cobra-class destroyers. So what we can do is summon these guys behind us and go attack them. My Viper class might go at them. Well, I'm wondering... We don't have a way to move faster, right? Because it's been a while since I've done this. That's just turning. Scan. This is shoot faster or longer. Okay. So if I went here, looks like they're out of range on everything. And if I had an extra 2, I could maybe hit them with the Void Sunder. Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that.
Let the Imperium guide us.
Oh, I thought they'd be in range. Unfortunate. Maximum overdrive. Can I go a little faster with that? Speed is increased by 2. Maneuverability increased by 1. I can't go any faster with that. Unfortunate. And you can circle back to get this Cobra class. I'm assuming they'll be shooting us, not the convoys. Unfortunate. But we can probably get to them before anything bad happens. Guessing they're going... Oh no, they can still shoot the Imperial convoy there. And what I'm interested in is there going to be any reinforcements. Almost looks like they have a precise shot or something. They're in my spot. They're in my spot. I hope that means I can... More ships are arriving. Okay. Yeah, that is unfortunate, but they're a bit off. I shoot my port side cannon. I can hit the Cobra class destroyer here.
Unleash a wrath upon my enemies.
Okay, they're down. I'm not sure if that damaged the mass convoy there, but we'll have to go with it. Let's do new heading to get extra turning here. So then I can go here and shoot the starboard. Dorsal. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna go here. We're gonna shoot the Void Sunder at the Cobra class.
Break them.
They're down. Starboard right here.
Unleash the storm of macro cannon.
And then we can pop these guys out right here
Send them.
to go over there, and then we'll start turning again. Then auto cannons go. Gonna have these guys go like right here. And hopefully up here doesn't get too close. Because that's going to be a bit more damage than I'd like on the conveyors. At least this Cobra... Oh, I thought they'd get to fire. They did not. Okay. I'm good with this. I'm good with this so far. That Fulcian did not get to go anywhere. Okay. The Fury Interceptors. Okay. Then they get to go, so... This is danger zone. Danger zone. Torps, go, 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 go. Please. Nope. New heading. And we can get to, like, right here, which I don't think will do much for me. Yeah. Can I put out another one of these guys?
Unleash.
Well, that's going to be a start. Starfighters go. Let's take them out. Cobra class down. I get my ship back so I can use them sooner than later. Starfighters go up. And maybe it can be a problem for these guys and they get to shoot them. Boom. I thought you'd actually connect with them, but okay. Kind of strange they didn't fire. Okay. This one's taken a lot of damage. They did go up my starfighter, so at least the Fury Interceptor didn't do damage to one of these. More enemy ships arriving. Kind of saw that one coming. Sword, falchion, sword, sword. Okay. So I can Void Sunder right now and hit you.
Send them into the cold void.
Rip them apart.
I go right here, I can Triumph and Fury, probably taking out the sword class.
Chart a course. For the glory of the Imperium.
Starboard, dorsal. I have a bit of a plan there, so we're gonna go forward, melt a bomb motor onto the Falchion class.
Let the Imperium guide us.
Oh. I was really hoping to be able to hit the Cobra class right there, but we'll starboard hitting the Falchion class frigate right here.
Breach in our enemy's defenses.
If I expeditious reload, I get port side cannon back to take out the Fury Interceptor.
Macro cannon. Annihilator.
Can probably take out the Falchion class frigate.
Location from blessed plasma fire.
I can put out another one of these guys. We're going to do the Spinny-Roo on the Cobra class so that Wraith Starfighters can probably take them out. And get the cooldown on that down. Starfighters, please destroy Cobra class. Get that ship back. And you guys can rush up towards them. This is one of the longer fights. I guess we are escorting them. Unknown right there. Oh, that's where we're supposed to escort them. Gotcha. Oh, this one's almost there. Not sure why these two aren't moving. They might be stuck because of that Viper class. Which is kind of silly, but I'm gonna be kind of mad if my escort got these two stuck. We're gonna pop more interceptors and keep flying. Yeah, not in range. See, they're not moving at all. None of them are. So I hope only one of the ships needs to go there, or I only need to survive so many waves, or it's something like that. Because this is kinda silly. Void Sunder, go at frigate.
Send them into the cold void.
Detecting a vulnerability in the enemy's defenses.
Go forward a bit, I can fire the dorsal at them. Melt bomb motor, go, go. Go kaboom.
Praise the Omnissiah.
Go up this way. Triumphant Fury at the Sword Class Frigate.
Their fate awaits them.
Do the twisty twist. They go kaboom. I go here, I can fangs. I thought I could fangs a Janus them. If I do new heading, I actually can. Oh, I hooked that wrong. But we can Fury Interceptor here. So Fury Interceptor 1, let's get rid of our Wraith Starfighters get rid of their Fury Interceptor. Go be a pest to them. And you're going to hit the Propulsion class. And turn around a bit. Yeah, they're just not moving. I don't like that at all. I really hope this doesn't get bugged. So let's put you out. I'm gonna go at the one down here. Actually, no. New heading. Lance the Ocean class frigate.
Always target the weakest point.
Melt a gun. Yeah, melt bomb motor them.
Where we tread.
They're down.
Faithful fall.
Then launch. Oh, we can't launch more. Thought we could. I have 3 out. Okay. And we don't have anything that can go out. But what we can do is blow up this sword class. And then this Wraith Starfighter can fly back to me. This one has a round left after this, and this one should just be able to go down, I think. He is getting away. Like, part of me is going, hey, we have one enemy, cool. The other part of me is going, we have one enemy for now. So we'll Void Lance them, see what happens. Can probably dorsal them as well. The Melt Bomb motor.
Rip them apart.
Unleash the storm of macro cannons.
Okay, battle's over. I was really hoping that would be a thing because they were stuck and they weren't moving. I was like, please do not make me escort them to get there because that seems like it was bugged. Which actually worked out to be a good thing because there's less targets for the enemy to fire at. But we defended the tithes. We defended the barges. Reporting all enemy vessels destroyed. When will these upstarts get the message? You attack a rogue traitor, you will be floating in the void like a dead rat in a lower decker's soup. How did they know where we were? Traitors. Some of them had infiltrated the crew, a dozen voidsmen, a few officers, and thrown even one astropath. That eyeless scumbag sent his mates the system coordinates when we arrived. Their ships must have been patrolling the region in hopes of discovering Leethus. I hope we gutted that astropath then. Who were they? Well coordinated, well equipped, signature encrypted. Those weren't some nameless void rabble. They were professionals, mercenaries, Lord Captain. Where are the traitors? I want to interrogate them. The Master at Arms handled their interrogation personally, and she managed to break the most resistant ones. In short, we learned that they wanted to destroy part of the Tithe and retreat. Strange behavior for pirates, wouldn't you agree? The last one spat out a cryptic warning along with his entrails. By the time you get back to Dargonus, it will be too late. I don't know what they meant by that exactly. And what are the barges? Successfully translated into the warp and are now on their way to the designated coordinates. So Dargonus probably is in trouble. We need to go check that first. Okay, report received. We're moving out. Marshal Strzok must be told about what happened. Lovely, lovely. So go back to Dargonus, it says. Alright, so back to Dargonus, which is... if I can remember right. Oh, it's only one hop away. Gotcha. Let's see what happens here. Urgent report, Lord Captain. The barges carrying the Tithe have been seized and are heading off to an unknown direction. Multiple sources are voxing the flagship at once. I detect signatures of several noble houses and the administratum. So what do the noble houses want? The messages have no discernible structure or cause, professions of loyalty, audience requests, and even pleas of leniency. One thing is clear. Something has agitated the upper echelons of nobility. In other words, they are scared. Now, who seized the Tithe? We are getting reports of it being an order of the Adeptus Administratum. We have received several official forms to the effect that Dargonus' orbit is currently deemed unsafe for Tithe storage due to an unspecified threat that has sprung up in the world of your absence. And what does the Adeptus Administratum, or what does the Administratum say? You are requested to come to the Palace of Justice in person. The prefect speaks of a terrible heresy that is threatening the Von Valancius Protectorate. While you were away, steps were taken to prevent the spread of corruption. However, your presence is required to make the final decision. Prefect Volter will meet you in person for the confidential conversation. What do you say, Solomon? It appears you have no choice if you want to help your subjects. Although I don't like what is going on, I would advise you to go to the palace, if nothing else, to find out what you can do to protect your people. I wanted to go to the Tithe ships right away, but fine. Right, Vigdis, prepare a shuttle for me and my retinue. As you command. Alright, so just in case, because I haven't saved in a hot minute, just in case things go down there, and it doesn't autosave and I die, wanted to save. We're going to the Palace of Justice again. So we need Solomon. I mean, yeah, we can take this group again. I'm interested to see what is going on. Because if the Marshal is here, I will burn him. After what everything just went down. I forgot that she was Volter. Rogue Traitor Von Valancius, welcome back to the Palace of Justice. So what's happening on Dargonus? What's the cause of the panic? Why the private conversation? That's why you're here, is it not? To learn why the world is distressed. Why the air is charged with Vox transmissions. Any administrator worth their station would be concerned. Disruptions to the established processes always lead to, well, no matter. The prefect peers at your face. Her voice sounds strange, deeper, calmer, less cankerous than usual. Have you ever pondered the nature of heresy, Von Valancius? Perhaps, to your mind, heresy is merely limited to Xenos, warp spawn, and insurgents. But there are other heresies whose existence is far more easily forgotten. Those of negligence, of avarice, of confusion and disorder. So what are you getting at? Rogue Traitor Miacidae Von Valancius, in accordance with Amendment Decree 6498-DF issued by the Adeptus Administratum and the Adeptus Arbites, you stand accused of countless heresies against the sacred Tithe as the well-being of the Protectorate. All related statements have been formulated and the evidence of your crimes registered. The proceedings will commence as soon as you and your accomplices present yourselves as the accused. A trial awaits you, Miacidae. Who in the void do you think you are? I am his servant and votary to the Imperium's prosperity. I cannot stand idly by and watch you trample on the glorious legacy of your bloodline. This was all one carefully orchestrated spectacle, wasn't it? The prefect, who was about to turn away, stops and glances back at you with a fatigued look. What? You wanted to go to Leethus. Or wait, no. The Awareness 100. You spied on me. You knew every word I said. How does it feel to sneak glances at one who you could never hope to become? Awareness succeeded. Your taunt hits the mark. An angry grimace passes over the prefect's face. She immediately recomposes herself, but it is too late. You saw how much of your words have offended her, and she knows that you caught her reaction. Unsubstantiated conjecture mixed with an inflated sense of self-importance. I am honored to do my duty whenever his will commands to be. Persuasion. You wanted to go to Leethus yourself. A foolish mistake, Prefect. Your impatience was too obvious. Oh, the 80% failed. I simply wish to do what Theodora's successor was supposed to do, protect the sacred tithe. There's no point in trying to present my reasonable desire in a damning light. You also twisted my report on Thasra to point me as a heretic. All I did was provide a summary of the results of the expedition, a summary stripped of dubious attributes, such as declarations of good intentions and de-emphasis on consequences. Your only goal here has been to get your hands on the tithe of Leethus. Not everyone is driven by greed and thrill-seeking, rogue traitor. I see your position has clouded your mind. Regrettable, but unsurprising. With due discipline in judgment and actions, it is only the most likely in terminus. Just admit it, you set me up. I shouldn't have even tried to hear you out, rogue traitor. She gives a nod to the arbiters, signaling them to escort you to the accused stand. So be it. Let's see what you have prepared for me. The prefect gives you a dispassionate nod to the arbiters behind you and turns away. Oh, this is gonna be good. She's gonna set this up so much. In the name of the God Emperor, the Von Valentius dynasty stands accused of betraying the Imperium. The trial is public, so that all may see the rogue traitor's heresies and know that the status and power are no shield against righteous punishment. Marshal Strox, you have the floor. State the list of crimes against the Lex Imperialis that will be examined here today. Oh, hell. With practiced skill, Strox's voice reverberates through the hall. Conspiring to steal the sacred tithe. Undermining legitimate authorities on an imperial world, involving sorcery and damaging the tithe, conceiving and executing plans to disrupt servitor-wide tithe shipments. Abelard, answer the charges. Barely containing his seething rage, Abelard thunders, Miacidae von Valentius, bearer of the sacred warrant, the God Emperor's anointed and sovereign of this protectorate, denies these false accusations. The Administratum and the Adeptus Arbites will not get away with the flagrant attempt to sully the rogue traitor's good name and plunder his dynasty's coffers. Make no mistake. Let the record show that the defendant disregarded the opportunity to give him to repent, which only adds to the gravity of his guilt. We will proceed to the examination of the individual tithe heresies committed by the defendant. Conspiring with the captain of the Heartless to steal the sacred tithe. Upon arriving on Rykad Minus, the rogue traitor aided Captain Sargona in loading the tithe onto a ship under the cover of a planetary riot. Miacidae von Valentius later eliminated his accomplice using Adeptus Arbites forces led by the Proctor Anthar. The Proctor attempted to appease the rogue traitor's greed by offering the frigate known as the Heartless in exchange for the safety of the tithe. Oh. Then the rogue traitor boarded the ship in an attempt to seize the tithe. His actions led to the death of the squad of arbiters. Proctor Anthar alone survived the rogue traitor's murderous ploy. Miacidae von Valentius personally eliminated his accomplice, Captain Sargona, in order to destroy the evidence of his schemes. Do you have anything to say in your defense? Solomorn, tell them what really happened. Proctor, stand down. That is an order. Your reports were quite comprehensive and are the foundation of this case. You will provide your testimony only when the prefect requests it. Is that clear? extremely martial. Really, Solomorn? Really, Solomorn? Let's try the coercion. I can, but appeal to your own common sense, Marshal Strock. Can you recall even one instance where a heretic attempted to steal the tithe while taking down a few arbiters along for company? Coercion succeeded. Strox frowns doubtfully. It is certainly an unorthodox tactic. Perhaps even suicidal, but no, I cannot recall no such cases. Shouldn't that be any such cases, but okay. You know, I'm a little pissed at Solomorn right now. If his bit is the, foundation of this case, and he's not saying, hey, this little bit right here wasn't right, he could end this right now, and he's not standing up for me. Dude, I thought you had my back. Let a new charge be added to the record, attempting to manipulate an officer, Marshal. I hope I do not need to remind you of your duty. Giving Strox a suspicious look, the prefect turns back to the document. According to the calculation of the tithe transferred from the Heartless, the administratum was short 3 units of volume. It is presumed that the rogue trader did not risk seizing more in the presence of the proctor, but even 1 ounce of unaccounted for makes the tithe incomplete. Let's move on to Theresa. The world underpaid the appropriate tithe amount, a crime that should have been remedied by the rogue trader escorting Proctor Anther to that backward world. Proctor, you are hereby called to testify. Describe what happened on the planet. Solomorn, if you throw me under the bus here, I will gut you. We arrived on Thasera. The rogue trader and I were drawn into a machination of the planetary governor. He used sorcery on the Emperor's anointed, but the rogue trader managed to overcome the effects of the ritual and do battle with the heretic. The governor was executed, and we... A lie uttered in the presence of justice is a serious offense, Proctor. Gleito, retrieve recording Thasera 84 Alpha. What did they do to Gleito? The prefect nods to the marshal, who removes a device from his belt. A press of a button, and Gleito responds with a metallic clang. The mastiff's paw carry him to Strock. They had to give Gleito back for a bit. They could have manipulated something. The cyber mastiff's entire body begins to tremble, his feet clawing up tiny sparks, and then he projects a picked recording from his eyes on the floor. The footage depicts a scene of Gleito's viewpoint. The quality is terrible, but you can make out the hall where the sculptor is conducting a sinister ritual. You see... this bit. You see Maeve interfere with the ritual and a beam of warp energy connecting the two of you. You hear Solomorn's command. The scene changes and you see Maeve, or rather yourself and Maeve's body, wandering through the streets of Thasera. The clip changes and brings you back to the hall where Solomorn is firing on the altar. The events in the recording are echoed by a dragging pain in your muscles and a fog in your head. Pain flits across Solomorn's granite face as he looks at the dog. You have used us as a tool against the rogue trader from the beginning. Such tricks and schemes are unworthy of the Arbides. As we can observe, Proctor Anther destroys a heretical altar, then a fight ensued which the Psyker died. There is not a single shred of evidence that the rogue trader actually overcame the sorcery. It is more likely that the person standing before us is a heretic and a creature of corruption. Did you watch the entire recording? Is this, in your view, how a rogue trader conducts himself? Like a swooning maiden? You seem offended by the insinuation that you're prone to fainting spells. Well, I admit, there is a difference, and you have just made it plain to all to see. Marshal? The old woman stares at the Arbiter without blinking, as if hypnotizing him. Finally, convinced that the Marshal's conversation with you is over before it even began, she returns to her papers. The prefect leafs through a few pages in the folder. The court also takes note of the pernicious effects of the rogue trader's handling of the Emperor's servants entrusted into his authority. Since arriving from Thasera, the rogue trader has done his duty by passing judgment on several subjects within the walls of this hallowed hall. She picks up a sheet of notes and wrinkles her nose. In forbidding the doleful host from capturing the choir master, the rogue trader confirmed his complicity in the activities of the infamous heretic Conrad Voigtber, who the choir master had been relaying the messages that had led to mutinies. acts of heresy and other forms of disobedience. The Adeptes Arbites had to step in and execute ominous pros themselves. She picks up the scroll that carries Exarchy seals. Allow me to read out the decision of the honored representative of St. Drusus' mission. We brand the one who dared subject Avales, the holy votary of the faith, to a martyr's death, a heretic, and associate the evil of every kind. Lord Moles, deemed to be alive, committed a transgression of soft-heartedness in running his family enterprise. He released all his convicted workers and terminated the contracts with his primary suppliers, citing their moral qualities. His action resulted in 12 kilotons of undelivered food rations across several recipients. First, the Administratum is unable to do its duty and asks for help, and now it has the audacity to criticize the verdicts of the rogue traitor. Prefect, your accusation does not merely cast aspirations of the competence of the Administratum, they challenge the sanctity of the decision of the Emperor's anointed. Yeah, these cases were under the jurisdiction of the Lex Dargonus. Responsibility of the consequences lies with you. Marshal, Imperium succeeded. Your words are true. Crimes committed after the verdict are a cause for new convictions, not... Marshal, enough. Not a single muscle twitches on the prefect's face, but her eyes blaze with a barely suppressed annoyance. She's not having a good time here. Moving on. The defendant was placed in an unprecedented position between trust in the Arbites and the Administratum. He was entrusted with the coordinates of the world where the tithe of the entire Koronus Expanse was held. As agreed, the defendant was to transport the sacred tribute to Dargonus, but what did he do? The Marshal snaps his fingers over to Glado's head. The Cyber Mastiff flinches as if from a bolter shot, but obediently plays another recording. You recognize Solomorn's voice. So, Lady Theodora intended to steal the tithe from the start. She arranged the world's destruction to cover her tracks. Installed a servant to keep an eye on things, and even made a contingency plan in her own death. All she needed was an opportune moment like this one. With the Expanse being torn apart, the planet's death looks convincing. Tithe theft, orchestrated by Theodora von Valentius, committed by the defendant, witnessed by Proctor Anthar. Solomorn, don't you have anything to say? The rogue traitor should not be held responsible for the misdeeds of his predecessor, or else, by that same logic, Insanicorda should have been tried long ago for what her predecessor, Ispis, did. As you can see, it isn't difficult to find inconsistencies in a case if you use your head a little. I refuse to be a mindless tool and follow absurd orders. I sent a portion of the tithe for the rebuilding of the Expanse. It will serve the people better than leaving it to rot in your coffers forever. The sacred tithe is not intended to be used by anyone other than the Adeptus Administratum, the deliverers of his will. Strox does not turn to Inscribia, but you have no doubt whom he is addressing. The Adeptus Administratum, like the Adeptus Arbites, only oversees the allocation of the tithes. I do not need to remind you of that, do I, Prefect? The old woman snatches up the next parchment. How good of you to speak up, Gregorius. As an addendum of the proceedings, we will be examining the heresies of Solomorn Anthar resulting from his moral failure to oppose the greed of the heretic von Valentius. Something inside Glado clicks, and Solomorn's voice begins to play. If the Marshal learns the whole truth, it will make things difficult. Solomorn is his own master now. I do not choose for him, but if you think that an Arbiter's tenets can be so easily broken by any passing stranger, then you insult the very core of the Adeptus Arbites. The rogue traitor is right. If the Arbiters dared to stray from the Lex, then he was never an Arbiter. The fault lies with me for not seeing the weakness in his heart in time. Well, proceedings are nearing the conclusion. The record of sins and heresies presented to the servant of the God Emperor has revealed the rogue traitor's true essence, and the verdict is grim. For his thoughts and deeds were not bent towards the service of humanity, but to the indulgence of his own greed and petty ambition. Really, after all this? Today, you are here to witness an act of righteous judgment, and the downfall of the von Valentius dynasty, House of Dargonus. Do you reject the authority of this heretic? Governor Urban drives them If I may interrupt, Mistress Volter. Urband Drivestem, governor of Dargonus, visibly nervous at the sight of the armed arbiters, nevertheless raises his head haughtily. We are much obliged to you for arranging this gathering. His emphasis on the last word leaves no doubt that the noble's presence at the palace is involuntary. However, all that has taken place here does not change the fact. House von Valancius holds the warrant of trade. House von Valancius is a rogue trader dynasty, and no amount of legal contortions will change that. House Drivestem is loyal to the rogue trader. Okay, Drivestem, I may have wanted you gone for a while. You just saved your butt, thank you. Toriana Gropok. Toriana Gropok makes a sign of the Aquila. No shadow shall fall upon the name of von Valancius or eclipse the radiance of the beneficent rogue trader line. Whatever your mechanical dog may say, House Gropok is loyal to the rogue trader. Even Sauerbeck. Marcius Sauerbeck raises his head, his eyes burning with almost deranged loyalty. Venerating the letter of the law is not fidelity to justice. Straying from the tenets of the Lux is not discerning the essence of truth, and granting of retribution. The man is silent for a few seconds before he almost shouts, House Sauerbeck is loyal to the rogue trader. 3 out of 4 houses, I think I win. Clementia Warsarian looks straight at you as if the prefect does not even exist. She makes a sign of the Aquila and speaks in a low voice. House Warsarian is loyal to the rogue trader. Allow me to address you, even though I am not part of the first families of Dargonus, Proctor Jaeger, Adeptus Astartes Leethus outpost. Miacidae von Valancius made every effort to not only save the Tithe, but also the Adeptus contingent stationed on Leethus. I propose that such an act would have been entirely nonsensical if the rogue trader was intent on simply stealing the Tithe. End of report. Prefect Volter stiffens as if what she had just heard had come from a very unpleasant surprise. Her slender fingers grip the armrest of her chair, her knuckles cracking. This world and its destiny are rotten to the core. She straightens in her chair with such force that you hear arduous grinding of her implants. Her voice is cold and tremulous. Decree GC781/89 supplement 982 for tithe theft, participation in foul sorcery, and other crimes against the Imperium. Miacidae von Valancius is sentenced to death. Property of the dynasty is hereby confiscated and placed under the oversight of the Adeptus Administrative. Any last words? Oh, I don't have much persuasion on the iconoclast here. Marshal Strelk, you have heard my arguments and the prefect's distorted version of the truth. Do you yet require more information before you denounce the real culprit? There is weight to your arguments, rogue trader, but even if you are right about the prefect, that does not immediately disprove all accusations. It is difficult to admit one thing is wrong, Marshal. You have stumbled by putting your trust in Volter, but I have faith that you'll make the right choice. Now. Inscribia heaves it in a breath, ready to launch into a vehement tirade. But the Marshal raises his right hand for everyone to fall silent. That is enough, Volter. I trusted you, and I failed to notice when your wise counsel turned into instructions and orders. When my every action became subject to your adverse schemes rather than the Lux. But now I see things with perfect clarity. The way you try to manipulate the truth to achieve your ends. You turned me into a puppet, and then trampled on his laws. Prefect Inscribia Volter, you were charged with fraud, attempting assassination of the Emperor's Anointed, and undermining the foundation of the Lex Imperialis. Surrender now and accept a dignified death. I must refuse, Gregorius Strock. I charge you with treason against the Imperium and conspiring with the heretic. Fangs of the Expanse, to battle. Are we really going down this route? Fangs of the Expanse, who are they? I love the music. Oh, she has that little shield. She has that stupid auto cannon. Or that, no, that's a flamer. She's destroying the temple.
Your existence is naught but ashes. You dare!
Mercenary, Zeta, Delta, Accuser. Can I do anything to the cannon? I mean, maybe I can do something against Weapon of Justice. So, what all do we have? Abductor, Vigilant, or Subductor, Vigilant, 2 Vigilance. And then a lot of Mercenaries. This is going to be the big thing to get rid of because of all that armor, but I'm not sure we have to beat it. Actually, looking at it. Glass Crete Barrier only has 8 health. I'm wondering if there's a way to lower that, or if we just break it. That might go down when this breaks. We only seem to get half cover unless we go into very specific spots. Oh, Gregorius is helping us here, okay. But we're all the way back here. Let's see here. Let's start with people who can move up a lot farther. Ulfar, my guy. I kind of want you to run up and get that Accuser right there. RG. I kind of have a plan for you, so let's go right here. Pascal, you can go into the full cover right here. I can almost get into the full cover right there. So if I move Abelard up, let's have him right here and then kind of go up. And then I can be right here and try to move to the full cover right there, and we'll see what happens. I'm interested to see how that cover works. You can see where each of the accusers is aiming, it seems. Their guilt is proven at the end of the turn. Weapon of Justice will fire at the character. If not proven guilty or the accuser is killed, it will fire on the Prefect Volter's direction instead. Okay, so we need to get the accusers. So RG, go here. Change the momentum's value. I knew this was going to be a thing. I knew this wasn't firing correctly. So we're going to do the Furious Recital. That gets her extra damage. We're going to do the Confident Approach. And then we do 18 times 31, or 8 times 31 before crit. I think I take him out. Really? And then we hit the Vigilant over here, unfortunate. So I'm gonna do run and gun. Because we... Actually, he just goes down on his turn. If I run 3, then I can run 3 again. I will still go here. Because then I can kick. Accuser down. Bop. So how did that work? Like, I need to do that 7 times total. Gotcha. And then I can fire at these guys. For what that's worth. Wow, I'm only going to do 10 damage to them. We're still going to take the shot.
Doubt is for the weak.
Because with the crits, we still do a lot more. And then we can, wildfire.
I'll do it.
The one guy's down. I didn't realize that. Then take him out.
As the Emperor commands.
And then we can do the Revel and Slaughter on the next turn. Oh, I just need to fire at that a few times.
Follow my lead.
Soul shall become like fire.
That hurts just a tad. These mercenaries hurt. Shield bash. I mean, Gregorius is a nice little tank there. So if I hit the one that's aiming at me, I think we're good. It still looks like it's gonna shoot at her, what that's worth. So, mark his prey.
Purpose guides me.
Then, I gotta look at this really quick. Critical hit, and this one is... if I use the Deadeye shot, okay. So then, if I do Cull the Bold, we do extra damage. Piercing shot, it's guaranteed critical.
Guidance
Analyze enemy, we do more damage.
guides me.
Surefire plan, we do more damage. And then we pop him. How much armor do these guys have? It's only 25%. Why am I only doing 24 damage? At start of combat, mercenaries select their targets. They suffer 80 until they suffer damage from the designated target. Mercenary suffers 80% less damage from other sources. Gotcha. So let's...
One step into the flesh.
Target identified.
The spirit.
So now I do more damage, but I wasted my other shots.
Ruin beckons.
And that's a miss. Lovely. Hey, RG. I want you doing some damage here.
I refuse.
So Firearm Mastery.
His will made manifest.
Take out target Alpha here.
Is the my Emperor. That is not the Emperor's will.
Take out Epsilon.
Why I was chosen.
Can do
I'll do it.
Mercenary right here. Take him out.
As the Emperor commands, I is why I was chosen.
Just get a few extra shots at a lot of different people. I can hit the Accuser as well. Might as well take him out.
I will not. I'll do it.
That way the scales keep firing at the last Crete.
I refuse. Faith without deeds is... That is not the Emperor's will. None can escape the Emperor's judgment.
And it fires again, right? Alright. It's gonna fire again, it looks like. Let's see if we can do damage to either of these guys. Doesn't really look like it, but...
This is unacceptable.
Oh, that was all my shots, okay. Alright, my turn. I'm gonna save these. Solomorn, this guy's looking at you, so run.
Test our skills, Glato.
Apprehend the Epsilon. Go and bite him, Glato, thank you. Good boy. Slug shot him.
It won't take long.
I thought that would hit him.
Clarify your order.
I haven't used these yet this turn though. Firearm mastery so we can hit again with multiple attacks. Run and gun. We'll go like right here for now. I'm very concerned at the fact that I haven't used these rings. There we go. Leto, go. Fire ring, go. Then Gleito. Aww. We can do rending shots this time. What does rending shots do? Just cone attack. Gotcha. Very low hit chance on that. They have a high dodge though. So if I do concentrated fire, I do more damage. And then I lower his dodge.
Even my dog wouldn't do that.
I thought that would work.
Waste of time. I'll take it as a priority.
And looks like we miss. There we go. Leto. And bite him.
Leto, we're undertaking this task.
I was gonna say, either way, if that didn't take him out, he should, like, go down from anything afterward. Because the bleed and burn and all that jazz. Hey, you're looking at someone else. What the hell? Abelard. This guy's looking at you funny.
Follow my lead.
Can you charge at him? Then we will sweep at him to bleed him.
Victory is imminent.
Defensive stance for the riposte. Can probably provocation him to try to get him to attack me. Or not.
It will be
And
done.
everyone here brace for impact. Just because. End your turn on a turn 4 cells away from where you started your turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, okay. I wanted Pascal to kind of go here anyway. Because accusers are down. If their guilt is proven at the end of the turn, weapon justice fire. The character proven fire at the prefect vulture's turn. Alright, so yeah, it should fire at her every time I move now. Let's area attack right here.
The scriptural program. The analysis successful.
Blinding attack.
The host of creations of the Omniscience.
Obstruct vision.
Familiar. Activated.
I was kind of hoping that would hit this guy, but probably not. If I go here, I hit these two. So, strafe. And he bleeds out. So let's do bait on Straff.
Activated.
And then machine spirit communication, just because I can.
Request approved.
Did it right? Okay. That's not too bad.
Weapon at the ready.
I didn't see what that did. Oh, but that's for the subductor.
To the heretics. Stay vigilant. Die.
Oh, one down. Okay, Vigilant goes. Going at Delta there. Choose a different target for each of my attacks. Unfortunate. I can still go here. And then I just need to make one big attack, right? So what we'll do is Reckless Rush to get the big attack. Devastating attack to get the bleed. Move right here. And then strike him.
His thunder,
And now he's bleeding.
his ruin.
And then just because I can, I'm going to firearm mastery him for later.
Perish.
And I'm not sure this is going to do anything. Yeah. But now he has that for later. Weapon of Justice fires at the glass crate, breaking it. Choose a different target for each attack. I don't have a different target for each attack. Oh yeah, there's the Mercenary Alpha here. And more reinforcements? I can handle that. Zealot, Zealot, Zealot. Okay. Hey, RG. You're gonna go, like... here. And we can burst these. They have a lot of dodge. What happens if I go here and burst? I can hit these three. We'll do that. So for now, Revel and Slaughter. Move here. We're going to Rapid Fire. We're going to Concentrated Fire so that they get the dodge reduction down. And somehow I have less of a hit chance. I love it. Now all three of them are down. We are going to Wildfire for an extra shot. And then we're going to hit this Zealot with another burst. Doesn't say that we can't use the same attack, just different targets for attack.
There are no innocents. There will be no pardon for the guilty.
And then we go here. And if we claim bounty, I don't think that we hit Ulfar.
Device.
And that should be that. Hi! Yeah, quiver in your boots. I was really hoping to get her before combat ended. The Prefect Volter knees before you. Scores of fragile implants all over her body are twitching convulsively, giving her the appearance of a crushed insect. Which, at this point, she kind of is. I'd never really liked her, and this is giving me more of a reason to not like her. She lets out a cough, then an unnerving smile appears on her lips. I had to at least try. I served the Von Valencius Protectorate faithfully for over 100 years, painstakingly cultivating order where others failed to do so, while you and your ancestors sowed anarchy and havoc with your ever-changing whims. I stood on the linchpins and kept this domain from sinking into criminal disarray. And it was because of me that this gargantuan system continued to function with barely a flaw. The only source of disruption was you rogue traitors. Yes, I had to at least try. I tried to follow your little whims when I could have gone, yes, I want this done, now do it. I tried to follow your procedures, and it cost me days of what I could have been doing to, like, get other things to help the system done. And now look at this mess. And what? To take my protectorate for yourself? The protectorate isn't yours. It never was. Have you not read your own warrant even once? Every conquest, every planet claimed by a rogue trader belongs to the Imperium. You're supposed to act as its vassal, nothing more, but rogue traders are incapable of efficient rule. All that drives you is craving for profit and reckless exploits. Do you not see how much I help the planets? The limitless potential of your protectorate is wasted in the hands of spoiled fools, and I'm tired of watching you desecrate the very foundation of the Imperium. If it weren't for you, the Protectorate would be operating for the good of the throne as impeccably as sacred machine of the Messiah. You know, you could have negotiated with me, voiced your dissatisfaction. You could have found a way. Instead, all this. You plotted behind my back. You're not worth it dirtying my hands to execute her. She chuckles. Never. The counterparty always bends the terms to its advantage, like you did here. As the weapon roars, Volter's body is reduced to dust. Marshal Gregorius Straux takes a measured step forward, his armor clanging. You must judge me also, rogue traitor. I have shamed the Adeptus Arbites by succumbing to Prefect Volter's manipulations, and betrayed the Lex Imperialis, the very law I was meant to uphold. I am guilty. I insist that you pass the sentence and carry it out immediately. So here's the thing. Straux is kind of helping out everything right now. Like, if I remember right, because it's been a little while since I've played. Like, yesterday was the first time I played in like 2 or 3 weeks, so my memory might be a little foggy. He is the one that's like helping fight off the entire system of like the Drakuri and a few other things. So he has a few things in his favor right now. So you helped me defeat the prefect. Why would I sentence you? Remorse does not absolve me from being culpable for what has transpired. I have betrayed the Lux. There is no going back for traitors. Oh, so I have to sentence him. And it's either death or the other. Now, he was and I see both points to this. In the Warhammer 40k world, especially in his department, that is very, hey, you did this. That's deserving of death. However, I'm kind of lenient on that. And, like, you were kind of fooled into that. Or, like, manipulated, rather. So, Gregorius Straux, by taking into account your record of past achievements, I hereby deny your execution and instead sentence you to punishment by toil. I appoint you High Overseer of the World, Vabos 6. That is where you will remain for the rest of your life. I consider this measure unduly lenient, but I have no right to protest your decision. He brings a closed fist to his chest and adds solemnly, for your judgment is final. They're gonna hate me on Vabos 6. They're gonna hate me so much. Straux sets down his shield, detaches his carapace, and places it over his shield. Now clad in only his undersuit, he looks smaller without his armor. Yes, he does, and very tired. I, Marshal Gregorius Straux, am stepping down from my post. I am no longer fit to wear this armor. May its new wearer bring honor to the Lex. Hey, Solomon, I think you just got promoted. The rest of the room stands still. All eyes turned on you. The final verdict. What you say next will decide the fate of not just the Arbites, not just the Adeptus Arbites, but the justice in the Koronus Expanse as a whole. So we got a static shield. Wearer gains 1 deflection, 8% parry. Whenever the wielder successfully blocks an attack, they gain a number of shield stacks equal to the portion of the wearer's damage. Whenever the wielder makes an attack with a shield, they add an additional +1 number of stacks energy damage with 50% armor penetration. After that, all stacks are removed. Marshal's armor of the Koronus Expanse. It's only heavy armor, not power armor. Interesting. The target hit by the wearer's attacks of opportunity become immobilized for 1 round. Base armor property +3 protection, or deflect +3 deflection if the wearer's strength is above 70. And his helmet. When the wearer hits an enemy with a shield, all allies in a 3-cell radius gain 5 resolve until the end of combat. Does not stack. Interesting. So, let's see here. The Koronus Expanse cannot be left without the Lex Imperials and its keepers. The Adeptus will choose a new marshal, one who is more worthy of their station, and continue to guard against lawlessness. They're in need of a more capable leader. I command you to choose a new marshal and let them take heed that the Von Valentius dynasty will never again accept interference in matters of the Protectorate from the Arbites. I kind of like that one. We can promote Solomorn like I thought. Solomorn Anther as ruler of Dargonus and head of the Von Valentius dynasty. I name you the new marshal and the Adeptus Arbites in the Koronus Expanse. See to it that the Arbites once more become faithful servants. The Adeptus Arbites is a rotten corrupt canker on the face of the Koronus Expanse. I've declared the beginning of a purge of their ranks. All who I deem unworthy will be exterminated. Oh, that's a bad one. Those who remain are the best of the best, carrying on protecting the law, or by the right of the bearer as a or I can just outright disband them. I don't know. Solomon, you up to the task? Because you didn't defend me there for a bit there, bud. This could have been ended a lot faster if you would have just defended me there in the beginning. However, I do think that if I promote Anthar or Solomorn, a lot less bullshit would happen long run. So, as ruler of Dargonus and head of the Von Valentius dynasty, I name you as Marshal of the Adeptus Arbites in the Koronus Expanse. See to it that the Arbites once more become faithful servants of the Lex Imperialis under your leadership. Your decree carries great weight, but my assignment will not happen so quickly. There is no precedent for electing a new marshal in the Expanse, not to mention that the Lord Marshal is unable to participate in the process. We'll have to develop a new procedure, otherwise we Arbiters will not accept these changes. Until my official assignment, though, I will lead as acting head of the Adeptus Arbites. Well, justice is done. My judgment is made. Among the broken fragments of the Great Scales and the burning Arbiter's banners, people kneel as one. The verdict has been announced, whatever future may hold. But one thing is certain, the Koronus Expanse will not be the same. That's for sure. The Administratum is burning. There's a new head of the Arbiters. So I don't need to grab his gear. Do I need to grab, like, any of the corpses?
The world will bow.
No corpses?
Acquisition is possible.
Oh, yeah, all corpses get stored as, like, goods, don't they? So the power mauls we don't need. The combat shotguns we don't need. Hotshot last guns we don't need. Holy hell, that's what was doing that to me. Reinforced Tempest Carapace we don't need. Solid shot. Solid shield we don't really need. I think. I mean, it might not be a bad thing. Then Merciless Onslaught for the doggo. 300% damage is good. 30% crit chance is good. But losing the weapon skill and strength is bad. We'd lose the maximum wounds. The ability to... Ooh. Apprehended enemies cannot dodge the Cybermassive attack. So that makes up for the weapon skill and kind of the strength. I think I'll still go with pack hunting. We do not have a servo skull for now. But who knows, I might change that. 20 intelligence. At the start of the turn, allies in the 4-cell radius have their burning, bleeding, and toxin level reduced by 3. End of the turn, Servo Skull Swarm explodes, mimicking the effects of a fire grenade. Hurricane Squall for the Eagle gains 20 agility, dealing 300% damage and scores guaranteed critical hits on prone targets. When its Cyber Eagle starts soaring, adjacent enemies must pass toughness or with a bonus or be knocked prone. Not horrible. So I think all that's left, and I do have to check the journal for this, is going back to Footfall. Yeah, 3 sorrowful flanges. It's Kelsazar who was at Footfall. But yeah, that is all that is left, so that is where we will pick up next time, because shit kind of hit the fan there, but it seems like things are going all right now on Dargonus. And we can just kind of pick up the pieces and go see what the rest of the chapter has in store for us, if that's going to branch off into more things, or if I've done like all the side quests now. But either way, that will do it for this time, I suppose. And next time, see just what everything entails. So, as always, I wish you all well. I will see you next time, and please, have a good one.